Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this fun Hearts transfer foil nail gel. I don't know if you heard that. I said gel instead of nail design. I don't know if you heard that rumbling in the background. It is thundering right now. Having a bit of a rainy day, so it's pretty cozy over here. So I'm just showing off the different colors that I'm using. I'm going for pink over here, obviously a very Valentine's theme. And I wanted to keep this design dramatic, but really easy to do and easy to replicate with any kind of transfer foils that you have that fit the theme or any theme that you're going for. Obviously I'm going for a pink hearts theme, and I figured a way to get it to be super dramatic would be to use very bold colors. So I did want to tone it down a bit, or at least like balance it with a lighter pink. So that's what I'm using over here with the Apres. Be very careful if you have Apres gels or if you're using them or if you haven't used them before. They are super pigmented and super thick. They have a very thick formula, and it's a lot better if you do two thinner coats than going in full color, specifically with the Apres ones. Typically speaking, you do want to do two coats when it comes to gel polish instead of trying to bulk it up the color in one coat, because the curing doesn't always work very well with a thicker gel layer. But specifically I found with the Apres gel polishes, I'll get wrinkling with gel polishes that typically don't have wrinkling issues. Like certain colors are more prone to wrinkling in the lamp if they're applied too thickly, like blacks and yellows. But I found with Apres ones specifically, even like very easy colors that typically don't have a difficult time curing in the lamp when applied more thickly can still have issues. So I just figured it would be good to mention because they are such a great brand. I really love their polishes. Their colors are great. It's just something to note because they are super, super pigmented and they cure. They need a lot to cure. So anyway, moving on, I decided to matte top coat before going in with foil gel because I am going to be doing foils, like I said, and I like doing a matte top coat simply because I find that sometimes when I'm not focusing, or if I'm not paying full attention, or if I'm doing a very specific placement with the foils, I find that if I'm trying to put foil gel on top of a shiny top coat or a shiny finish, sometimes I'll miss spots and then the foil won't stick where the foil gel isn't. So I just like doing a matte top coat. For me, it makes sure that I can actually see what I'm doing and make sure that I get all the spots. And especially with the nail all the way onto the left, I only wanted to do the foil on the light pink half French design. So I wanted to make sure that I had everything matte top coated so I can see where I'm placing the foil gel, and that way I don't accidentally get foil gel onto the darker pink that I wanted to avoid. The rest of the nails are all going to get full foil, so it wasn't that necessary for this design, but when I'm doing very specific placements, I find having a matte background is a lot easier. So I popped that into the lamp for 30 seconds for the foil gel to cure, and I like having the foil gel kind of like cool down after coming out of the lamp for a little bit. I find that the foils just transfer a lot better because the foil gel does get a little bit heated when it goes into the lamp, and having it cool down a little bit before going in straight with your foils actually helps the transfer a lot better. So while I have that cooling down off to the side, I'm just going to do this really simple gem placement. I figured the main gem over here, the really beautiful pink heart, was so dramatic and took definitely center stage when it came to this design that I figured doing a more simplistic design around it, just doing like a line of rhinestones, was the best way to go to really let that pink stone, that pink heart design be at the center of attention when it comes to that nail. And then I'm going and doing the foils. So like I said, it had been cooling down a little bit after coming out of the lamp, and now I'm just going to place down the foils and transfer them. So because I am working on a darker background for this design, or for this nail specifically, I tried to get the foil area where it had like the lighter hearts that would show up more, as opposed to like the darker hearts that I'm doing on this nail, because I figured it would kind of like blend in to the other one and not show up as dramatically. So just kind of playing around with the placements and the different designs so that the colors show up nicely, and also so that each nail is a little bit different and individual, but still works very well with the whole design. So these two just get a full transfer foil, and then on this nail over here, like I showed before, I just did the foil gel on the half French, and I'm just going to be placing the foil over here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the nail that's going to be all the way to the right, but I want the foil to actually be on the bottom part of the nail, or the top part, I guess, depending on which way you look at it. And then I'm actually going to use the dark pink to create a French over top of the foil design. So it's going to be similar to the other nail, but just kind of like inverse. So I'm just placing them next to each other so that I can kind of get the French, or like the half French, to be as symmetrical and evenly placed as possible. And I found it was just easier to do it this way as opposed to trying to get the exact placement of the foil, because it is going to be on a larger surface, and it was just easier to do the full foil on the full nail and then do the French over top of it. It's just a lot more simplistic that way, and you don't have to be as tedious with the placement. So I'm just going to finish that off over here. And that's really the whole design. I decided to add a few more little sparkles and some more rhinestones to the French nails, just to add a little bit of detailing. So before doing that, I forgot I did just this little bit of detailing. I like creating like a barrier or separation between French lines, especially when there are really bold colors or really bold designs placed next to each other. It kind of creates this pretty barrier. It kind of creates a little bit of a more finished look, but I didn't want it to take center stage. So I just did this very, very soft shimmery pink that kind of adds this light detailing between the French design and the foil design, but it didn't take over and it didn't pull too much attention. I thought about doing it in white, and I think that would have been really pretty too, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. And then to finish it off, I just want to add a few more little rhinestone designs. So I have these cute little hearts, and they came in the perfect colors that match the transfer foils, like this orange one over here. I noticed that this nail specifically didn't have much of like the orangey, beige, peachy hearts. It just didn't end up in the French design. So adding that with the rhinestone just brought that color back into the design and just brought more cohesion. And then I just wanted to add more rhinestones to bring the whole look together, and just the empty, like the dark pink of the French nails were looking a little bit empty. So just placing, again, very simplistic designs and really allowing the heart charms to be the center of attention. And then I was doing it and I realized that I had my heart gem placed in the opposite direction of how all of the other hearts were placed. So I actually decided to, before curing it, thankfully I noticed before I cured it, otherwise that probably would have been really annoying to me afterwards. I probably would have removed it and redone it, but I realized that it was in the opposite direction, so I just fixed that. And then I decided to do a mix of matte and shiny top coat for this design, because I really do love how foils look when they are matte. I think it's really cool, and especially on the middle darkest nail, I felt like the design was kind of getting a little bit lost. The hearts were kind of fading into the background, and doing a matte top coat just helps bring the design a little bit more forward, and it doesn't get so lost. Somehow a matte top coat just really emphasizes the colors. So I decided to do matte top coat over the foils, but leaving the dark pink of the French nails, and then also the nail that has all the rhinestones, and do that a shiny top coat. As well as over here, you'll see like the little glitter gel that I did in between the French and the non-French, like that little barrier there. I did that in a shiny top coat as well, because it did have sparkle in it, so I figured it may as well be shiny as well, so that the sparkle couldn't come through. And again, adding the shininess to this nail over here, I felt like it would just add to the glitz and glimmer of this design. And I think it came out really, really cool in the end. I love doing a mix of matte and shimmer. I think it really adds a very interesting and cool effect. And that way, if you're not sure if you want to do matte or shimmer, you can do both. And I think it's a really, really cool way to add texture and nuance to the design. I think it's really cool. So here is the final set. As you can see, the middle nail definitely looks much more dramatic, and you can actually see what's going on when it has a shiny matte top coat as opposed to the shiny one. So I just have different lightings going on so you can see what it looks like. I think the set was super easy and super fun to do. I think it's really cute and really dramatic as well. The colors are bold, and it looks like a lot of fun with very minimal effort. So let me know your thoughts on this set down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!